Microdose, yeah. Microdose, 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 dose. Microdose, microdose, dose. Microdose, microdose, dose.
What's good, y'all? Kush Hayes here. Happy New Year once again. I know I said that last week, but hey, it's always nice to say it one more time. So we're at that pinnacle. We're in January, and traditionally January has been kind of a dump month for the cinema, the kino. But then something happened like just a couple years before the pandemic. They're like, hey, why don't we actually put like a good movie in there? And then like people started getting excited for January once again. I saw Megan last weekend, and that thing should have only disappointed, and it did not. Is it Oscar caliber? Probably not. Will we be talking about it in 15 months? Maybe when the sequel comes out. But I enjoyed the shit out of Megan. My guest, returning, funniest man in the room, Drew Angelman. What's good, man? Did you see the Megan?
I'm doing well, and yes, I did see Megan. Me and my friend was actually like looking forward to seeing this movie, and
Right.
just to put it out there, this is what happens. We go to movies when there's like one screening left of this movie. Like the movies that we go see are like we're the only two in the theater, maybe one extra person, and the movie is almost on streaming networks. Probably they're already on streaming networks. But for Megan, we made an exception, and we went opening weekend. We were bombarded by an audience, and it was a good time. It was a really good time. This is what I suggested. Me and my friend Geek, that we used to do podcasting together, I suggested that, or we talked about Child's Play back in 2019, I believe, and we were like, they should have not even put Child's Play on the title. Don't even try to connect yourself or be like a weird spin-off. Just be your own thing, and it could be fun. And Megan proved us right. We were right in that thinking, that just make it something completely different, make it a different name, and let it stand on its own 2 feet. And Megan is doing really well. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, man. I really enjoyed 2019's Child's Play reboot, and I think the first 45 minutes are fantastic, and then the last half of the movie is like, oh no, we're in a Child's Play movie again. Shit. But like the behind the scenes story is like just kind of fascinating to me. So MGM owns the rights to Child's Play, but Universal Studios owns the rights to all the sequels and a TV series and this and that and the other. And MGM's just like, well, we're trying to reboot Orion Studios, so let's do a Child's Play movie. But let's make it about a social commentary on sweatshops in East Asia. And it's just like, this movie did not disappoint. Like I said, if I ever meet Mark Hamill, I'm gonna get his autograph, but I want him to write, "This is for Tupac," Mark Hamill, because that was the big line in Child's Play. But dude, 2023 kicking off with a huge success in Megan. They're definitely gonna do a sequel. I already reviewed it on the Waffle Box, the original Waffle Box last week. Tonight, as this podcast drops, the House Party reboot comes out. I don't know why they couldn't just call it House Party 6, but whatever. And then a movie that actually looks pretty entertaining. It's got Gerard Butler. It's got Mike Coulter. It's also got an incredibly stupid name called Plane. Have you seen the trailer for Plane?
Yes, I've been to the theater for the past 2 months, and Plane is in front of every single movie, and I roll my eyes every time I see it. It's like Gerard Butler has hit his Liam Neeson stage of life, where he's just doing random action movies. He doesn't even have to be jacked. And he's doing movies like Hunter Killer, Geostorm, and now Plane.
All right. So I haven't seen it in front of every movie I've been to in the last 2 months, but every time I do see it, I'm a little confused by it, because the trailer starts, you see the just randomly a title card comes up and says The Crash. And I'm like, oh, this movie's called The Crash. No, this movie is called Plane. But if it was called The Crash, it would probably actually be better. I'm dumbfounded by why they decided to do this. Like, it felt like, all right, we're gonna just put the placeholder here. We're just gonna call it Plane for now. We'll change it later. We'll change it later. It doesn't matter. Everyone knows what we're talking about at work when we're talking about Plane. And then a week before the movie came, they're like, shit, we forgot to change the placeholder. Like, this thing should have been called anything. Terror at 6,500 feet. Two dudes on an island, whatever. It should have been called anything but Plane.
Yeah. And the thing with the marketing is they know that it's a bad name because they have to put like hashtag plain movie. They can't have just hashtag plain because it just is weird. So they have to put hashtag plain movie just to put it out there. It's a movie. So it is a bad name and it's so dumb. But I'm getting ready to see like Plane is coming out this year, maybe next year or a year after. It'll be Trains, and it'll start Gerard Butler where he's a runaway train and he has to get it. And then there'll be a car chase one as the third installment. It'll be Automobiles. So then he'll be in a trio of movies called Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And just really take care of the whole series, the whole trilogy right there.
So since we're going with a public transit cinematic universe, I like Plane, I like Train, but I think we got to get a corporate sponsor tie-in and just call it Uber or Lyft. Honestly.
There we go.
I mean, you could call it taxi, but I don't think kids today know what a taxi is.
No, not at all. So you gotta do an Uber. Maybe Uber Eats. Well, he'll be an Uber driver, and then he has to. It's almost like Collateral. It'll be like a spin-off of Collateral, but it'll be sponsored by Uber.
Gerard Butler just jumps in a random car and he's like, "Take off, follow that car." He's like, "Bro, I'm just here trying to deliver cheeseburgers." He's like, "Take off now!" Like, oh man.
Maybe Gerard Butler is the driver, and he's like, "I used to be a pilot. I used to be a train conductor. Now I just want to drive Uber Eats." And then it's like some guy comes in, and he's like, "Not again."
I just want a peaceful life and just getting people home safely. Oh my god. Maybe flying in the sky was a little dangerous, and I would have thought being on an actual railway system would have been okay. But just want to drive my hybrid and get people home safe. Oh god damn it. So,
that'd be great.
That would be funny. True Angelman, we've already talked about 2 movies, but what are you looking forward to in these first 3 months of 2023?
So I actually wrote down 4 movies. You tasked me with 3. I wrote down 4, and then a 5th one came to my brain. So I will go with the one that I'm most excited about that's coming sooner than the other 3 that I have on my list, and I'm going to start in February. And Cocaine Bear is coming out, which looks absolutely ridiculous, and it looks like a great time. And this is like what I want in a February movie. My friend Joey was having his birthday, and it was just him and me. One Friday night, we decided to go see Violent Night together after going out to eat, and we went to see Violent Night. And the first time I've ever seen Cocaine Bear trailer was before Violent Night, and I've never really experienced this as of late, but it was a trailer that made me so excited for the movie. It made me not want to watch the movie that I was there to see. I was just wanting to watch Cocaine Bear. I was like, this looks like a great time. I still had a good time with Violent Night, and I wanted to see that. But when that movie came on, I was like, this looks ridiculous. But I'm excited to just go shut my brain off and watch a Jaws bear kind of hybrid movie.
Do you think it'll break your tradition again like Megan, and you're going to go see it with a crowd opening night? Or at least opening.
I kind of want to. I want to, and I'm hoping that there's a crowd because I think this movie would be really good with a crowd. I would hate for it to like kind of get squandered with me and like 2 other people in the theater. So I'm hoping that there is an actual crowd in there, and we can all have a good time feeding off each other's energy and stuff.
Yeah, man. Like it's not on my list, but I'm glad you brought up Cocaine Bear. I'm not one who partakes in the Colombian powder, but this looks hilarious. It's based on a true story, which makes it even more ridiculous. Have you seen photos of the actual Cocaine Bear? He's still alive, by the way. This is a story that takes place in the 80s, but he suffered like 4 heart attacks at once. So now the photos see him, like, obviously he's an older bear, but he also just like looks like he just got fucked up, man. He's just like, I had one really rough weekend, bro, and I've never been the same. Like, Cocaine Bear looks out there. It's Elizabeth Banks directed. I don't think this is her sophomore film, but she needs a win, I think, after Power Rangers. Or was it the Charlie's Angels film?
Charlie's Angels, yeah.
Oh, yeah. She needs a big win after Charlie's Angels. Yeah, Cocaine Bear is a great pick. I'm gonna stay in the month of February with you, my man. And His name has kind of become a punchline, but M. Night Shyamalan has a new movie, Knock at the Cabin. That's coming out February 3rd. It stars Dave Bautista and Harry Potter's own Rupert Grint, if I'm saying that name correctly. And basically, big bad Dave Bautista, who looks like the biggest square in the world in this movie, him and three other folks have been tasked with having to home invade this cabin in the woods and say like, yo, one of you three need to make a sacrifice, because if you don't, the rest of the world is going to end tonight. It's not an original premise, and it's M. Night Shyamalan, so you always have to be cautious now. Like he's thankfully had some better films this last decade, but it can go south real quickly with Mr. Shyamalan.
Yeah, that's actually one that wasn't on my list, but popped into my brain that I wanted to talk about next. But yeah, I went to watch Old. It wasn't my favorite. It was a pretty like divisive film, I think. It was polarizing. Either people loved it or they hated it. I thought it was lukewarm. I understood where he was going with it, but I wasn't overly thrilled with the direction it went or the twist and everything. Not necessarily wanting to watch it again, but I saw this, saw who was in it, was intrigued. I like horror movies or thriller movies. So whenever they come out, especially in a time where we haven't had a thriller movie in a little bit now, I'm excited to go watch it. But I just saw in front of Megan, there was an extended trailer. And I just kind of wish that, especially with his movies, that they didn't give too much away. And I just felt like it gave so much of the story and everything. And I was like, kind of wish you would have just held something back a little bit. But I am looking forward to seeing it. I hope it's better than Old, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm also like intrigued what the twist could be, because there's always going to be a twist in his movies. Twist. So I'm kind of like intrigued, like what could be the twist? I've been thinking about that. I think that's more intriguing than the actual movie itself or whatever the storyline is. I'm just like, how could he twist this? How like I think I have an idea, but I don't want to say it just in case. But yeah,
no, I think we should make our predictions right here on Microdose number 148. Drew, knee jerk reaction. What do you think is the twist for Knock at the Cabin?
I think it's going to lead up to somebody actually sacrificing themselves. I don't know who's going to be sacrificing themselves, but I feel like it's going to like lead them to be, like sacrifice themselves. Then it's going to go calm for like a day, and they're gonna be like, cool, we did it, we saved the earth. And then all of a sudden, like a comet just comes in and just explodes the earth, is what my thought process
is. Just anyways, because it was that's
anyways amazing.
That's way better than what I got. Like I figure like someone does also get sacrificed, but then Dave Bautista goes April Fools, and he's like, oh no, it was a real knife. Like it was supposed to be the springy knife. Dave, come on. That's my knee-jerk reaction. It's not good.
That would be great if like M. Night was like, this has to come out on April 1st, but it's not on a Friday or a Thursday. And he's like, oh, dang it. Well, let's push it up to February.
I think it's a Universal film. So it's always going to be on Peacock now in like 45 days, if not the same day in some occasions. Yeah, that might be the April 1st release. I think that's about 45 days away. Shit. We might have just predicted the Peacock release easier. I don't know.
Whoa,
we did it, man. Whoa. All right, we got to cancel the Microdose now. That's it. Show's over. Anyway. Drew, what else you got? What's next?
Coming up, or at least what I saw is coming up in March 3rd of this year is Creed 3, which I'm very much looking forward to. I think January and February are a little slower generally. And then March, I found like 3 top tier movies, in my opinion, for the year. And they're just coming out one after another after another. And Creed 3, it never disappoints. And I'll be honest, I just watched the trailer not too long ago about what the movie's about. And this looks top tier. I'm so excited for this movie. I hate that it seems like Sylvester Stallone is no longer in the films, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I like that it's going to be centered around Michael B. Jordan. I always thought that Rocky was always going to be like the figure that overshadows Creed in a lot of these movies because people are invested in Rocky. But I think Rocky has done all that he could in these movies, and now let's just Michael B. Jordan be his own entity in Creed, and let's see how it goes. And I'm looking forward to it.
I also have Creed 3 on my list of most anticipated movies of the first quarter. We were supposed, so this was supposed to come out Thanksgiving weekend. And Thanksgiving, for whatever reason,
Right.
every year, we either get a boxing movie or a war movie. And maybe it's a coincidence, but because they pushed Creed 3 into March, which is very strange for a Rocky movie again, because that's always had a November home. I went and ended up seeing the Jonathan Majors war movie instead of the Jonathan Majors boxing film. So I felt like life balanced itself out Thanksgiving anyways. But Creed 3, all jokes aside, Creed 3 finally, of these last 3 Creed movies, of these last 3 extensions of the Rocky series, this actually looks like an original movie. The original Creed, yes, it was also original, but you're still leaning into like, well, this is actually just a sequel to Rocky 4. And then the big joke for Creed 2 is, oh, this is Rocky 4 Part 3. You know, it's you got into things like that. I did not like Creed 2. I felt, as you mentioned earlier, I felt Stallone tried to overshadow Michael B. Jordan in Creed 2, whereas I didn't felt he was absolutely a supporting character. He's still kind of pushing the story forward. But now that he's not a part of it, one, I wonder how they're going to handle that. Two, this is the first film that's going to be its own entity. It's going to be completely original. I love the story. I love that Michael B. Jordan is going to have to fight a friend of his from back in the day. You know, some guy who didn't get this fair shake, who might actually be the better fighter, whose dad isn't a legacy fighter. You know, I'm very intrigued for it. It's not fair to compare it to Megan, but this movie could only disappoint me, I feel like.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I almost feel like with it being Creed 3, I almost get like you were talking about Rocky 4. I almost like when you were talking about that, I almost feel like this is almost like a Creed going up against his Clubber Lang almost, where it's somebody coming out. He's not well known. He's kind of coming down from the down and out side of things to then come in, try to rise into power by taking out the head honcho, the head guy. And I think that with the size of his friend, I think they're trying to make it kind of reminiscent, but without Rocky there. Like we were saying, it could be more of its own standalone film. And I think it's time. It's 100% time, especially after what we got with Creed 2 and stuff. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I did a podcast called Sweet Science Cinema, and it was just me and a friend of mine, Jamil Hemphill. We talk about boxing movies, and the first movie we did was Creed. The first episode we did for season 2 was Creed 2, and then we were gonna end it with Creed 3 in November, and then just not only did life get in the way, but the movie moved. So I'm hoping to have like a full on podcast about Creed 3 still, but you never know. And just want to say, if you should hear my thoughts, not only about Creed, but Creed 2 and the Rocky 4 director's cut, y'all. So since we both shared Creed 3 on that one, what is next for you, Drew Angelman? What else is coming up for you in 2023?
So this is actually a teaser that I saw in front of Megan that I did not know that this movie was coming out so quickly. After its a sequel release that came out early last year, and that is Scream 6, coming out March 10th. And they had a little teaser with Jenna Ortega and everybody from Scream 5 on a subway train, and then there's a whole bunch of people dressed up as Ghostface, and they're trying to run away. And I sat there with my jaw on the floor being like, this seems so quick. After Scream 5 that came out in January of last year. And now they're going to be coming out with Scream 6 on March 10th. And I mean, Jenna Ortega has been doing a ton of movies as of late. So wherever she was able to fit this movie in her very big schedule, I'm actually impressed because she was in X last year. She was in the Wednesday show with Tim Burton and doing other movies, and now she's doing Scream 6. So I'm looking forward to it. Scream is always up or down for me, but it's hit a consistent chord with me that I'm always like, I never leave it too disappointed, but I hope that this one's a little bit more airtight than Scream 5, even though I had a really great time. There's things that I keep thinking back to it going, this could have been better. They could have done this better, but Scream 6, I think, is definitely on my radar. And I was thinking that it was going to come out closer to October, maybe early next year, but it's coming out in March. So yay for me.
I sat out on Scream 5. I understand folks who enjoy the franchise also enjoyed Scream 5. I was not a fan of Scream 2. I hated Scream 3. I saw a bootleg of Scream 4 that is very forgettable to me. And then again, like I just said, sat out Scream 5. But I have two questions. Is Nev Campbell not a part of this one at all? I understand there was some controversy, but I thought at one point I heard like, oh, it's fixed. Now she's going to be in it, but also I'm not seeing her mentioned at all in the trailers I have seen.
Like I said, I haven't really looked into too much of like other trailers, but I did hear about like her like keeping out of talks or kind of holding out, or they're not looking to utilize her as much. I mean, in Scream 5, shit. Spoiler alert, they did like call her and she was like, I got my own life now. Just stay safe. And she's like moved out of like Westboro and everything. And then all of a sudden, in the next like 5 minutes, she's like driving into town and she's like, psych, I'm in here. And it's like, what are you doing? You were safe. You're a mom now. Just leave. Like, I thought it was going to be like a passing of a torch kind of thing. Like, you're the new person now. This is just a cameo. But no, she's here. I was like, no, you had it perfectly. Everybody else was going to die. You're good. But she wanted to get into the fray. So, but I did hear that they were in talks the last time I did hear, but I don't know if everything was completely smoothed over. I hope so. I'll do some research after this.
I'm going to make a prediction right now and say that she is in it, but she is going to be the ghost face killer.
Would be incredible.
She's dealt with 5 separate traumas. All right. And she's just gone. She's like, the only way I can end this is to start killing people. Like, oh my God. Like, why not New York? Who's going to know? Who's going to miss anybody? Like, I've just got so much PTSD. Just stabby, stabby, stabby.
I mean, that would be a huge twist. I won't lie. I mean, she had to deal with her boyfriend and his best friend. She had to deal with her half brother being the killer. She had to deal with her niece trying to kill her. I mean, at this point, everybody that's gone insane around her. I mean, she gets. It's almost like she gets a free pass at some point. So, like, you know what? It's my turn.
He's not here tonight, and obviously, I don't think you're familiar with him, but former guest of the Microdose, Terrell Trotty. I already know this is his number 1 anticipated movie of 2023. Like, he's not even looking past April. Like, this is the movie for him, and he can only hope to get a Scream 7 8 months later. I'm looking now at the date of March 17th. That is the 3-year anniversary of the COVID lockdown. And what better way to celebrate, Drew Angelman, than to watch the newest Adam Driver sci-fi thriller, 65. And this is a movie where he's an astronaut or some kind of space dude in a flying saucer. And there's problems. I think they get hit by a meteor or some bullshit, and they have to crash land on a planet. Here's the twist up front. It's Earth, and 65 million years ago, and there are dinosaurs chasing the survivors, and oh my God, this can only get bad from here. Adam Driver, 65. It reminds me of a modern day Planet of Dinosaurs. Are you familiar with that film, Drew Angelman?
Sounds familiar.
Okay. There's I want to say it's the late 60s, mid 70s, but there's a movie called Planet of Dinosaurs, where guess what? Bunch of astronauts flying through space on their way to a planet. Some ill shit happens, much like Alien Resurrection or Reconnaissance or whatever the last Alien movie was. Anyway, they have to crash land on a planet, and guess what, dude? There are dinosaurs there. Oh shit, it's actually Earth, and they don't know it, but they're stranded there forever. And there's a lot of claymation dinosaurs involved in this film, whereas obviously we're getting CGI stuff. If you're a fan of Mystery Science Theater 3000 and or Riff Tracks, I know one of them has it, but I believe both of them might have a riff of that. And goddamn delightful Planet of Dinosaurs. But we're talking about 65. So Adam Driver, I don't think I've ever seen him be bad in anything. So interesting to see what he'll do with this. I don't recognize any of the other names with it, but yeah, man, should be a fun time.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I haven't heard anything about it, but interesting.
One of the problems with this episode for you and me is like, despite the fact that, most of the titles you and I have mentioned tonight, we've been seeing trailers from them for the last 2 to 3 months, but then there are other titles where it's like, I don't even know what that is. Like, reading the synopsis, like, what the fuck is that about? Like, this movie comes out in 3 weeks. What is that? So,
that happens to me, like, now that movies are starting to consistently come back, like, I'll just see, like, Rotten Tomatoes just post up, like, what has been released and all their tomato scores, and I'm like, what is half of these movies? Like, I'm scrolling through like 6 pages until I see something that I actually knew, or that has actually released in theaters and not just in a limited or very small release / video on demand. But I'm looking at the cover of this and it looks interesting. I mean,
it also kind of looks like the Will Smith After Earth movie.
Yes, it does. That's a great call, man.
Yeah, or maybe that's not the right title, but you knew what I was talking about.
Yeah, After Earth. No, it's After Earth, right?
Is it After Earth? It's the movie. What's the movie with him and Jaden trapped on a planet and monsters are chasing them?
That's M. Night Shyamalan. Great callback.
Oh shit, was that Shyamalan?
Wow. Yeah, that was Shyamalan.
Wow. Wow, that should have been better. Should have. Maybe it is good. I still didn't see it, but that was universally disliked by a lot.
Yeah. No, thank you. That was not. I watched half of it and I was like, all right, I think I got it. My friend told me the twist and I was like, okay, I got it. Cool. Nice.
Is the twist there on Earth?
Yes. That's actually it.
Fuck you, M. Night. Oh, all right. Well, I'm out of stuff that I'm absolutely most looking forward to, but like Shazam 2 looks like a lot of fun. Ant-Man's not going to have a hard time capturing an audience. That's why those weren't on my list. But Drew, is there anything else you want to talk about tonight?
Yeah, I'm superheroed out. I'm pretty much like, I've hit my limit and I will wait to go watch those movies. I'm not looking forward to seeing any movies. I was so disappointed with like every single superhero movie I watched in theaters that I didn't even watch Black Panther because I was like, I'll go watch that 2-hour 45-minute movie when it comes out on streaming. Everything else before that really lost me. The Doctor Strange 2, the Thor Love and Thunder. I was like, I'm not looking forward to anything. I love Paul Rudd, but you got to take a back seat, Ant-Man. One movie that I'm very much looking forward to and it's coming out March 24th, the end of March, is John Wick Chapter 4, which I'm very looking forward to watching. I really liked 3 a lot. This is a series that hasn't stopped being fun to just be in and watching a movie. Like, it's somewhat nonsensical with how much violence there is in it, but the story and the world building has just been so top notch that I love learning something new. Like, we're just dropped into the storyline that we've agreed to be in since the first movie, and it's just continued. And it's continued at such a smooth pace, yet we're still learning almost like organically about the world that John Wick is from. There's no like long exposition dumps as like we get from so many other movies. It just goes, it'll give you information when you need it, and then it just keeps going on the same pace. And I'm just looking forward to seeing Keanu Reeves and continue this story of John Wick. So I'm looking forward to that movie.
I have a strange love-hate relationship with the John Wick series. That first movie, Chef's kiss, as the
Yeah.
kids say. Like that is a fantastic movie front to back. I hate that everyone's all like, "Oh, you killed John Wick's dog. Now he's gonna get." No, it's deeper than the dog. All right, the dog was just it's the fuse, but it's not the. He don't give a shit about the dog. All right, stop saying that. But then after that, when they did the sequel, which I thought was unnecessary, it was just like, oh shit, everybody's an assassin. Everybody's an assassin. Like Drew Angelman, I took a friend of mine who was he's from San Francisco. He hasn't been here regularly in like 20 years. We went to a spot called Civic Center, and for whatever reason, a lot of homeless are gathered there. At one point in time, I would compare it to like any market village scene from Game of Thrones. That's how gnarly it is. And yes, you might like get some sort of disease just walking through all of that. But when I took my friend to this, there was literally like over 100 homeless people in this one part of the thing. But if this was John Wick rules, all of those people would be assassins. All right. I'm not
Yes.
down with a lot of the lore. I like the hotel. I like the rules, but they get a little too cute with the environment. However, these movies are always entertaining. The action is above board, and you know I'm not going to not see it. Parabellum, beautiful goddamn movie, dude. Just the thing with
Yeah.
the mirrors and all the glass and the reflection and the neon, and you know guys fighting with karate swords is also entertaining too. But I don't know how many more John Wicks we can get. I understand they've been trying to do a spin-off, and also Halle Berry is super pissed that she's not a part of that because she's been trying to get her own action franchise since Bond in 2001. 2001.
Interesting. I did not know that, but she did great in the third John Wick, and I would love to see her in more. I mean, I heard that they were trying to do a spinoff with the ballerina school. So, I mean,
Yes.
let's do it. Come on now.
Ana
get
de
going.
Armas is supposed to be in that, I believe. And then they just announced some other big name. And we're like, of course they'd be a part of that. Why wouldn't they be a part of that? Yeah, no. So Halle Berry has been trying to get her own action franchise. I don't know what goes wrong. I think she does great. But like she did Catwoman, and then that didn't go anywhere. She was part of James Bond. She's like, we should do a Jinx series. And then like MGM was like, no. The Broccolis were like, no. If you listen to the press junkets for John Wick 3, she like strong armed the producers, like, you're putting me in John Wick 3, motherfucker. And they're like, oh my God, I guess we're putting Halle Berry in John Wick 3. Oh shit. And then now they're announcing a whole spinoff without her. And I'm just like, this woman just can't catch a break. God damn it. Like, how much more does she have to do before she gets her own action franchise?
I don't know. She did great in chapter 3. I thought she got hurt at one point, but kept going. And they used the stake. They used the take that she got hurt on, and it looked incredible. I mean, she gave it 100%. So I mean, I would be down. I would be in the theater ready to watch a Halle Berry led action film. I think she did great in Kidnap. So I mean, why not? I mean, let's go. Let's do it. I did want to go back because I did check out or searched the Neve Campbell Scream 6 stuff, and apparently she is still gone. There has been no articles that have resurfaced that says that she came back to set or anything. They said that she was being undervalued, she was being underpaid, and decided to step away, and that she is gone from the Scream franchise and Scream 6. Not saying that I guess she couldn't come back at some point later on. But she seems pretty like she put her foot down. Now, could it be a misdirection? Could be, but I don't know if the people over at Scream are as as sly or sneaky as putting all of that behind everything. But I don't know. It also, the one article or one picture that I saw made it seem like she started filming, or she was like in somewhere production wise, and then she walked off set. So maybe she could get a quick glimpse, or maybe she's gonna want to take legal action to be completely out of the movie, I have no idea, but it seems like it's not going well between her and everything over at Scream 6.
So part of the whole Scream franchise is like knowing the rules and knowing how things work. And since you just said it, the buzzword misdirection, like this is like, yeah. No. Benedict Cumberbatch is not Khan in this new version of Star Trek 2. Oh shit, Benedict Cumberbatch is Khan. Like I I feel stronger than ever, and I just literally came with that off the hip. Like I think Nev Campbell's gonna be the bad guy in Scream 6. If I'm wrong, so what? But if I'm right, I'm gonna look like a goddamn genius, Drew Angelman, and that's what's up.
Yes, you will. I have no idea who could be it now. I'm gonna go in there expecting it to be her.
Oh, I remember going into Scream 2 thinking I knew who it was gonna be, and then just completely wrong. I'm like, what do you mean it's his mom? Oh, all right. I guess that was an option too. Shit. Oh, Drew, is there anything else you want to talk about? I got nothing else, man. Yeah. All right. Did you see the Avatar 2?
I did not see Avatar 2.
I have two things to say about it, and we'll get to the outros here. One, the screensaver on your 4K TV, you stare at that for 3 hours. It is just as enjoyable. Also, I only intended to see it once, and then had to catch up with a friend of mine who I haven't hung out with in years, like since pre-pandemic. And he was like, "I want to go see Avatar 2." I was like, "All right, we're gonna go see Avatar 2, dude. But we're gonna do it in 3D, which why wouldn't we? But we're also gonna do it in the 4DX. Oh, also, we're gonna take a little psilocybin chocolate treat, so it's gonna be even that more intense." I don't know which one might have put him over the top. Maybe any one of them alone, but we had to leave 30 minutes into it. To be fair, the 4DX was violently throwing us around. Like I was kind of used to it. Like it's one of those things where you're trying to take your drink, like, oh my god, I almost spilled on someone that wasn't even there. But it's like, yeah, 30 minutes into it, like he's like, I think I gotta go. I was like, well, let's get out of here. It's fine. But yeah, that's that happened. So, and we'll get another one in 2024.
Wow. Yay!
I think this is a good place to stop. But Drew, is there anything you want to plug?
Just my YouTube channel over at Angelcake Entertainment at youtube.com. I'm going to be talking about the challenge, reality TV, all that drama and good stuff.
Dude, that's what's up. Dude, I totally love having you come on the show here. I love talking about movies with you. I hope we can have you back. If not for the Oscar awards, even the nominations, we're not going to do some live streaming gimmick. Like they print out that list 3 hours later. It's going to be fine. We'll catch up from there. But I'd love to do something with you sooner than later on that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm so down.
All right. If we can make it happen, we will. Folks, you know I do some stuff around here. We just mentioned it earlier in the show, the original Waffle Box. You will accept no substitutes because it is the best part of Wednesdays. Me in front of the family, only Mike Fish. Him and I, we talk about everything and nothing all at the same time. And that comes out, as you might have guessed, every Wednesdays, not only on YouTube at Waffle Box Pod, but here on the Bosnet.family. So, for Drew Angelman, I've been Kush Hayes. You've been you.
Microdose, 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 yeah, microdose.
From the Bosnet family.
Cool. We did it. We saved the earth.